Hello there, you're tuned in to 7 Edition with me, Sabrina Zainal, and these are tonight's headlines. Cabinet denounces public caning of lesbian couple. Blackout causes chaos in Johor Bahru. And death toll climbs after powerful quake paralyzes Hokkaido. We begin the bulletin with this story. The cabinet meeting today denounced the public caning of a lesbian couple by the Kuala Terengganu Sharia Court, saying that it did not reflect justice and instead painted a negative perception of Islam as a religion. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said in certain circumstances, Islam allows for counselling or lighter sentences to be imposed on grounds of allowing the criminals or wrongdoers a chance to reform.
Pihak Kabinet berpendapat bahawa ini tidak mencerminkan keadilan dan timbang rasa oleh agama Islam. Sebaliknya, kita tahu bahawa ini adalah kes pertama bagi mereka dan biasanya dalam kes pertama kita perlu memberi nasihat dan tidak seterusnya melakukan sebat sehingga diketahui oleh seluruh negara. Ini memberi gambaran yang buruk kepada agama Islam. Sebab itu kami berpendapat bahawa kalaupun ada kes-kes yang semacam ini, pertimbangan hendaklah diberi kepada keadaan tertentu yang mana dalam Islam kita boleh menjatuhkan hukum yang lebih ringan sementara kita memberi nasihat dan sebagainya.
The Kuala Terengganu Sharia High Court had on September 3rd sentenced the lesbian couple to be caned 6 times after pleading guilty to same-sex relations. The sentence was carried out in a courtroom at the Sharia High Court and was the first of its kind to be implemented in the country, which was also witnessed by 100 people. The punishment had led to a public outcry from many factions of society who opposed it, while there were also those that supported the punishment. The International Islamic University Malaysia, IIUM, is defending its appointment of Education Minister Mazli Malik as the university's 7th president. In a statement issued today, IIUM said its management views Dr. Mazli as the ideal candidate given that he was formerly a lecturer at the university. Dr. Mazli has vast experience in IIUM environment and has headed its academic staff association that championed the rights and welfare of its lecturers. The university's constitutional head, Sultan Ahmad Shah, had also consented to the appointment of the minister for a 3-year term, supported by IIUM Rector Professor Tan Sri Dr. Zulkifli Abdul Razak. The minister has also expressed his willingness to hold the post and to not receive any remuneration during his tenure. Dr. Mazli has been taken to task for accepting the position, with certain quarters reminding him of his pledge not to meddle in university administration affairs. This was also to ensure the university would not be abused by anyone for political mileage. Over at the Dewan Negara, the government is in the midst of discussion with related parties on the proposal to enact the Economic Sabotage Act to curb the selling of contracts and import permits, or APs. The Senate was told this today by Deputy Economic Affairs Minister Dr. Muhammad Razi Muhammad Jidin, who said the formulation of the act was among the resolutions presented during the Congress on the Future of Bumiputra and the Nation 2018 on Saturday.
Akta ini bertujuan untuk mengekang tindakan meraih keuntungan segera melalui penjualan kontrak dan permit import atau AP. Kerajaan mengambil serius cadangan ini dan ianya sedang dalam peringkat perbincangan dengan pihak-pihak berkuasa berkaitan untuk penggubalan dalam masa terdekat.
He also said the government was currently preparing a new strategy, initiative and direction for the 11th Malaysia Plan, 11MP, through the provision of midterm review of the plan. The midterm review document will be tabled in October by taking into account the current needs of the people based on inclusive principles. Moving on, former Sabah Chief Minister Tan Sri Musa Aman spent over 2 hours at the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission in Putrajaya today. He was summoned by the graftbuster to give his statement on various reports made against him. Tan Sri Musa Aman, who was driving in a Toyota Velfire, was seen entering the gates of the MACC compound at about 11:45 a.m., accompanied by at least one lawyer. It was reported that the commission had requested his presence to help shed light on several allegations made against him. They include an attempt to buy the allegiance of an assemblyman following the 14th general election, dubious timber deals involving the Sabah Forestry Department, and alleged misappropriation related to the Pan-Borneo Highway project in Sabah. The veteran leader, who was sworn in as Sibuga Assemblyman in Kota Kinabalu yesterday, has been asked to assist in corruption and abuse of power investigations, which date as far back as 2009. Police have also completed recording Tan Sri Musa's statement in connection with an alleged criminal intimidation case involving the Sabah governor, Tun Juhar Mahirudin. Now, police have denied arresting 2 teenage stepsons of Cradle Fund Sindiran Berhad CEO Nazrin Hassan, who died in a fire at his home in June, as reported by a news portal earlier this morning. Selangor Police Chief Datuk Mazlan Mansor confirmed the matter, stating that only 2 arrests involving the victim's wife and her ex-husband were made to facilitate investigation into the case.
Cradle Fund, saya ingin mengesahkan di sini tidak ada tangkapan baru. Tangkapan yang kita lakukan beberapa hari lepas, iaitu 2 orang yang kita buat tangkapan itu masih lagi kekal. Apa yang disebarkan dalam berita yang diviralkan itu adalah tak betul.
Datuk Mazlan, however, did not elaborate further details on the case, including the motive, as investigation is still ongoing. Both suspects were arrested on Tuesday in TTDI Kuala Lumpur and Sepang and have been remanded for 7 days until next Monday. On June 14th, Nazrin's body was found after a fire in the master bedroom of his 2-story home. Initially, his death was believed to have been caused by his handphone exploding while it was being charged. However, the case was later reclassified as murder after police received evidence indicating foul play. Now, the Johor Bahru city centre and its surrounding areas were hit by a power outage at about 1 p.m. today, with electricity supply restored to only certain areas so far, while others are still in the dark. According to the Johor Tenaga Nasional Berhad TNB General Manager Datuk Badirul Syam Saad, the disruption was caused by damages at the main Johor Bahru city centre substation. It was reported that the disruption caused some chaos on the roads due to non-functioning traffic lights at Jalan Tebrau, connecting Taman Pelangi and Taman Century with the city centre, resulting in severe traffic congestion in the city. However, hospitals, the Customs, Immigration and Quarantine Complex, and most commercial buildings and other premises were not affected, as they are operating on backup generators. Johor Bahru Selatan Police Chief ACP Shahurinain Jaiz, in a statement, also confirmed that police had received reports on the power supply disruption. Police, however, did not receive any reports of personal injuries or deaths due to the incident. TNB, in their Facebook post, said that it was investigating the cause of the damage and efforts were being made to restore electricity supply in stages. A video has gone viral on social media showing a pedestrian using a zebra crossing being knocked down by a motorist in front of SJ KC Kwang Hua in Sungai Nibuang, Pulau Pinang. In the 6:49 p.m. incident on Tuesday, caught on CCTV camera, the female primary school student, accompanied by her mother, was crossing the road when the pedestrian light turned green. Several cars on the left lane had stopped to give way to the pedestrians to cross the road. However, a black Produa Alza, which was on the right lane, went straight through without stopping. The panic-stricken student could only stand helplessly as the speeding car slammed into her, throwing the child a meter away in front of the vehicle. The mother, who watched in horror, rushed to pick up her daughter and then stormed to question the driver. It is understood that a similar incident had also occurred on September 25th last year at the same spot, where a motorcyclist knocked down a woman while she was crossing the road. When we return, new breakthrough to bring your mobile gaming to a new level. The details after the break. Welcome back. Now let's take a look at our daily segment Clickbait for what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. Airport staff are the front face of a country's tourism as they directly interact with tourists who have just landed in the country. However, these two Malaysian KLIA-2 airport security guards failed to realize that, as they were extremely rude towards two tourists at the airport. Amy Tnei Lee Ping from the Sarawak United People's Party witnessed the appalling incident, who then took it to Facebook, which has garnered over 600 shares. Apparently, there were two Chinese tourists in front of her asking the two guards for directions in Mandarin, where one of the guards answered, telling them to speak in Bahasa Melayu instead or go back to China. And immediately, Amy intervened to assist the tourists. She has since lodged a complaint to the Immigration Department and the Tourism Ministry, but at the time of writing, they have yet to issue a statement on this incident. A netizen pointed out that airport employees are expected to be welcoming of tourists, and such behavior must not be taken lightly. Now updated as of 7 p.m., here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today. It's now time for our My Game On segment, which focuses on the latest esports news, reviews and updates with a local twist. Since the launch of the new Honor Play mobile phone by Huawei last month, many have asked how exactly the GPU turbo function has helped enhance gaming performance on the device. Wanizul Islam tests out the Honor Play Player Edition to find out more about this latest hardware.
Hello there everyone and welcome to My Game On. So for this segment we have a special gadget review. In front of me we have the Honor Play Player Edition. So what you need to know about the Honor Play Player Edition, basically it's the same Honor Play but with a very artistic design. I'll show you that in a bit. And also it's limited edition, meaning that there's only 1,000 units available in Malaysia. So here's what's inside the box. We of course have the Honor Play, but the Play Edition is different for one reason only. Look at that. This is the back casing. Look at the design on the back casing. Definitely for those gamers out there. Alright, so to test out the benchmarks here for the Honor Play Player Edition, we're going to have a round of PUBG Mobile with some friends. Let's go. Equipped with the Kirin 970 AI chipset, the device offered very little to no lag issues whilst playing the game. Coupled with a big, bright and crisp 6.3-inch HD Plus screen that offers excellent viewing angles, its shape is also long and relatively narrow, making it easier to handle. Battery life is key to a gamer's performance, but with a 3750 mAh battery, we could see that in 30 minutes, just over 5% was lost whilst playing PUBG Mobile on high graphic settings. We can tell that the GPU turbo has really made the game more efficient and much more faster. So to explain a little bit more about GPU turbo, we have the business director from Honor Malaysia himself, Mr. George.
The GPU turbo can build a bridge between the hardware such like Kirin 970, the memories and also the batteries. Between this kind of hardware to the software, which is the Emotion UI, this kind of software programming technology, it can make the hardware and the software match together, have a perfect combination. The all in all is to give the best performance to our game lovers. So how the GPU Turbo do? They will enhance the speed between the game and the smartphone. So the efficiency of the communication is much higher than any other smartphone.
For those avid mobile gamers out there looking for a budget gaming phone, the limited edition Honor Play Player Edition will be available online on Shopee and highhonor.com starting tomorrow. Some units will also be released in selected retail stores beginning September 8th and will be priced at 1,299 ringgit. Wanizul Islam reporting for 7 Edition.
In other news, the government is reviewing the need to reduce the quota of foreign ownership in the Forest City mega project in Johor. Housing and Local Government Minister Zuraida Kamarudin said while it is still too premature to comment, she believed that the government is leaning towards decreasing the number.
At the moment, what was the main concern is because the Forest City punya project, through the state government punya policies, they allow up to 70% foreign ownership. So I think this is an issue which we have to study and review and see what is best way to make sure that local participation is not being sidelined and local benefits is not being sidelined.
Speaking at a press conference, she added that her ministry is discussing with various parties, including Forest City developers, as well as the state government, and will be providing feedback to the cabinet before deciding on the matter. When asked about the issue of visas for foreigners who buy houses in the country, Zuraida said the Home Ministry had been asked to tighten their procedures in issuing visas and social visit passes under the Malaysia My Second Home program. She also clarified that foreigners who bought properties in Malaysia were not automatically entitled to receive a visa. Coming up, deadly quake triggers landslides in Japan. This and more, stay tuned. And we're back with foreign news. Yet another natural disaster has struck part of Japan. At least 9 people were killed and 33 were missing in Hokkaido after a 6.7 magnitude earthquake triggered landslides on Thursday, injuring and trapping a number of people and knocking out power in several areas. The quake hit at 3:08 a.m. when most people were sleeping, the tremor measuring a strong 6, causing landslides to crush homes, farm buildings and roads. Authorities are trying to reach those worst affected by air, deploying 51 helicopters and 25,000 self-defense force officers as part of the rescue effort. According to the Japan Meteorological Agency, aftershocks were continuing Thursday morning and could pose a risk for the next week. The entire island lost power for the first time since 1951, but was restored almost 12 hours later to parts of Sapporo, Hokkaido's capital, and Asahikawa, its second most populated city. Local officials said it would take at least a week for power to be restored to nearly 3 million homes after a fire in the area's largest thermal plant was discovered. The earthquake also caused travel disruption, with all flights cancelled from Sapporo's main Chitose airport, where the quake brought down part of a ceiling and burst a water pipe. Local buses and trains and bullet train services were halted. Japan is still recovering from the worst typhoon to hit the country in 25 years, which struck the western part of the country on Tuesday, claiming at least 11 lives and causing major damage to the region's main airport. Meanwhile, residents in Sapporo were shaken from their beds when the earthquake struck the island. A resident told Japanese channel TBS that a chest fell on him as he was sleeping and he struggled to get out from underneath it.
すごかったの横揺れかな。もう台所もみんな冷蔵庫も開いてみんなタンスも開いて。
Now, here are some updates on Typhoon Debbie. Malaysians who were stranded after the powerful storm slammed into western Japan and leaving trails of destruction in coastal cities like Osaka are now waiting to depart home at the Narita International Airport. Like thousands of other stranded passengers, the Malaysians, who are mostly tourists, have to wait in cramped waiting areas with no food as they await word from airport authorities on when they can return home. Sharing his experience earlier while waiting anxiously at the airport was Izwan Che Ibrahim, who was one of the stranded Malaysian travelers in the country.
Kami hanya mampu tunggu kat airport ni je lah, tanpa makanan, cuma ada minuman. Sebab flight kami pada hari Sabtu lagi 2 hari, so kami tak boleh buat apa dah.
Izwan, who was stranded with 3 of his friends, also reflected on his experience in Osaka when Typhoon Debbie hit the city.
Masa kejadian, sebahagian daripada kami ada di tempat penginapan dan sebahagiannya ada di shopping kompleks. Kami amat takutlah, kami tidak pernah mengalami situasi sebegini.
Izwan and 9 of his friends were in Osaka for the Toyota AE86 festival when the disaster struck. Videos and pictures of the devastation caused by the typhoon were also shared on his Facebook account. Izwan said they were initially stranded at the Namba train station in Osaka, but then they discovered that most road access to the Kansai International Airport had been closed due to the typhoon. He also said most Malaysians he met were also safe, despite air and land transportation in the city had been completely crippled. The Malaysian embassy had also informed all affected Malaysians to head straight to the Narita International Airport to arrange for the earliest flight out. It is understood that Izwan and his friends have now boarded a plane out of the country and are heading to Bangkok before returning to Malaysia. Elsewhere, twin bombings at a sports club in Kabul, Afghanistan on Wednesday killed at least 20 people and wounded 70 others. 2 media personnel, a reporter and a cameraman who work for local Tolo News, were among the dead in the second blast. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the attack in Dasht-e-Barchi, home to many members of the mainly Shiite Muslim Hazara ethnic minority, which has been targeted in the past by Daesh militants. Wednesday's attack underlined the danger in Kabul as elections approach next month, as well as the threat facing the Hazaras, a Persian-speaking minority that have long faced discrimination and have also borne the brunt of attacks claimed by Daesh in Kabul. Earlier on April 30th, another twin explosion in the city killed 9 media workers and 16 others. Now, a story for art lovers out there. 88 art pieces that encapsulate the uniqueness of Malaysia are being displayed in a special exhibition at Balai Berita in Kuala Lumpur. The Morphosis exhibition features the work of both young and veteran artists who have come together to illustrate the transformation of Malaysia from 1957 to 2018, as well as promote unity and togetherness in conjunction with the recent 2018 National Day and Malaysia Day celebration. The exhibition, officiated by Lembah Pantai MP Fahmi Fadzil, was organised by Gallery Prima together with curator Henry Butcher. Among the artists involved in the exhibition include Ismadi Salehuddin, Gan T. Sheng, Johan Marjonid, Husin Othman and Calvin Chua.
Saya berasa sangat gembira bila melihat hasil-hasil seni, karya-karya sama ada dari kalangan bakat-bakat yang baru nak muncul, tapi di sini juga saya nampak banyak karya-karya daripada seniman yang dah veteran. Jadi yang dikumpulkan 88 hasil karya yang ada dalam pameran Morfosis ni adalah bagi saya satu kebanggaan kerana ia menonjolkan satu perasaan terhadap negara.
All local artists in the exhibition also agreed to donate 40% of the proceeds from the sale of their respective artworks to the Tabung Harapan Malaysia.
Sekarang ni kita dalam proses tukar kerajaan baru. Sebetulnya semua orang ada bagi masa untuk bertenang. Dan kalau kita tengok dalam ni, saya lukis dua orang macam sedang bertekak. Jadi saya bagi tajuk, "Hui, bertenang." Supaya kita ada masa sikit. Bagi masa dulu supaya kita tak jadi resis, kita tuntut hak dengan segera.
All artworks are open for sale with prices ranging from 500 ringgit to 1 million ringgit. The exhibition ends on September 16th. Established and contemporary designers put their best twist on traditional wedding fashions during Pakistan's Lahore Bridal Week. Take a look at these bedazzling moonrise collections as we wrap up 7 edition. I'm Sabrina Zainal. Thanks for watching and have a good night.